So let's talk about one of the biggest questions out there. How is wealth really built? We're going to break down the habits that actually separate self-made millionaires from, well, pretty much everyone else. Okay, let's get right into it.
You've heard this a million times, right? It's the story we all kind of tell ourselves, that getting rich is all about being born into the right family or just catching some magical lucky break. And, it's a comfortable idea, because it lets us all off the hook.
Yeah, because what if it's not about luck at all? What if the path to getting wealthy isn't about chance, but about a set of deliberate, repeatable actions? Well, the data tells a completely different story, and that's exactly what we're here to unpack.
First things first, let's just tear down the biggest myth of all. This idea that you have to be born rich to get rich. Is the wealthy class really some exclusive club you can only get into by birth? Let's take a look.
And here it is. This is the one fact that changes the entire game. Study after study shows that most millionaires are actually first-generation rich. They started with very little, and they created their fortunes. Not through luck, but through very specific, very consistent habits. And those habits, well, they can be broken down into 3 core pillars that honestly anyone can learn and apply.
So our first pillar is all about what's going on up here, your internal operating system. Before a single dollar is made, a certain way of thinking has to be locked in. It is the absolute foundation for everything else.
And you can see the huge difference in thinking right here. On one side, you have the mindset that's all about today's comfort, right? The I want it now mentality. But on the other side, that's the wealth mindset. It's a complete shift away from chasing that short-term buzz to building long-term control and, most importantly, freedom.
So what does that actually look like day to day? Well, it's about thinking long-term. Before making a big decision, you ask yourself, will my future self thank me for this? It's having the discipline to delay gratification. Maybe skipping that fancy night out to instead invest in a skill that could literally double your income down the road. And they are obsessed with learning, because in this game, what you know is your single greatest asset.
This quote just nails it. The most powerful thing you will ever invest in isn't a stock, it isn't real estate, it's you. It's your own mind. Your knowledge is the one asset that can never be taken away, and it has, by far, the highest potential return.
Okay, so once that mindset is firmly in place, we can move on to the second pillar, the practical mechanics of it all. This is the system for how money is actually handled. This is where the thinking turns into real action.
Man, this comparison is so important. The consumption cycle is all about looking rich. You get a raise, you immediately upgrade your car, your apartment, your whole lifestyle. The wealth cycle, on the other hand, is about becoming rich. Instead of upgrading the lifestyle, you upgrade your income by using your money to buy things that generate even more money.
The rules for this money machine are actually pretty simple, but they take discipline. Rule number 1, you have to live below your means. And look, this isn't about being cheap. It's about creating a gap between what you earn and what you spend. Then, you use that gap to buy assets, things that put money back into your pocket, not take it out. And finally, you reinvest everything. You take the money your assets make and you buy more assets. That's how you build that powerful, unstoppable cycle of compounding growth.
I just love this metaphor. It completely reframes how you think about saving and investing. You're not depriving yourself of something today. No, you're building an army of dollars that is going to work for you 24/7, fighting for your freedom in the future.
And now for our third and final pillar, the strategic blueprint. Because once you have the right mindset and a money machine running, you need a smart plan for both growth and, just as importantly, protection.
Now, this is a strategy that feels kind of backward to a lot of people. Instead of trying to be a jack of all trades, self-made millionaires become absolutely exceptional at one valuable thing first, whether that's coding or sales or public speaking. They go deep, and only once they've truly mastered that one skill do they leverage it to expand their reach and their income.
So after they've mastered that one thing, they expand. And a huge part of that is building multiple streams of income. Think about it. A single paycheck is just survival mode. Multiple streams, that's where you find real security and freedom. And they don't avoid risk, they manage it. They're smart. They build buffers, like a solid emergency fund, and they diversify their investments so that one little setback doesn't blow up their whole plan.
And that leads to this critical point. Getting rich is one thing. Staying rich, that's a whole different ballgame. Survival is the name of the game. Protecting your downside is just as important, maybe even more important, than chasing the upside.
So we've walked through the mindset, the money machine, and the strategic blueprint. The big takeaway here is that building wealth isn't some secret, magical formula. It's really just a series of deliberate choices. And now, the focus shifts to you.
This is really the ultimate lesson from all this. Wealth isn't a birthright. It's the natural outcome of a specific set of habits. It's about making a conscious choice every single day to think and act and live like someone who is building a future, not just living for the weekend.
And really, it all boils down to this one question. These habits we've talked about, they don't seem dramatic from one day to the next, but over time, they quietly, consistently change everything. The choice, ultimately,